Okay, so this is the discussion for our quiz for chapter 11. So we have here, for number 1, we have here half cell reactions of palladium reduced into palladium metal and palladium chloride complex reduced into palladium metal and chloride ions. Now the question is to find the equilibrium constant for this complexing reaction. So it's palladium 2 plus ion plus chloride ion forming palladium chloride complex. And we have, so the data that we have here are half cell reduction potential data, and the question is for equilibrium constant. So you have to find the relation between potential and equilibrium constant, and that is shown here. E cell standard at standard condition equals to the RT over NF times ln K. K here is the equilibrium constant of this reaction. Right, so what do we need to find here now is to arrange these half cell reactions so that the net reaction will give you this reaction, right? So from these two half cell reaction, I can arrange, or I have to arrange, that the cathode should be the palladium ions reduced to palladium metal with this potential, and the anode has to be this reaction, but because this is anode, so it has to go through an oxidation. I have to flip it, right? So when I flip it, so the palladium will react with chloride, being oxidized into the palladium chloride complex, and the net reaction would be so you remove this, cancel out the electrons and cancel out the palladium metal solid, and then you have the ions, the chloride, and the complex, right? And the E of the cell would be that the E cathode minus the E anode. These are all not at standard conditions, right? So which means that you take the data directly from the table. So I'm using this formula. So this means that the E naught of the cathode and the E naught of the anode is directly taken from the table, right? So I do not flip the sign, right? So I keep the sign. So the cathode will have 0.83 volt and the anode will have 0.64 volt. Then you have the E of the cell to be 0.19 volt. So the next is to use this formula to calculate the K. This is what we wanted to find, the equilibrium constant of this reaction, right? So you have the E naught of the cell as standard condition, and at standard condition the temperature is at 25 degrees Celsius or 298.15 Kelvin, and the number of electrons participating in this reaction is 2 electrons. Then you can solve this, and then you will get K equals to 2.65 times 10 to the power 6, right? Okay, great. And then the next question is, the bonus question is, what happens if you mix a solution containing palladium 2 plus ion and chloride ions? Well, because the K value is really high, right, 10 to the power of 6, so which means that the reaction, this reaction, will be favored to the right. Okay, you see this also, that the E naught cell is positive, so it means that it wants to go to the right, spontaneous to the right, or the reaction will go to the right. Okay, so this means that when you mix palladium and chloride ions, they will form the product, which is palladium chloride complex.